Men and Yandy's marriage, the epitome of reality TV love, has come to an unexpected and shocking end. Sources close to the couple are now confirming that after years of ups and downs, the couple has finally decided to call it quits. However, what exactly caused this significant breakup has been the subject of rumors, brewing for weeks, but now we're learning the explosive reasons for their breakup. Did Mendeecees' past finally catch up with him? Or did Yandy finally lose it after years of juggling her career and family drama? Or is there something more sinister going on behind the scenes that no one saw coming? Emotions are running high as fans try to piece together what happened, with insiders teasing shocking revelations. This story is far from over, and the truth may be more shocking than you ever imagine. The shocking news hit social media like a bombshell, and fans of hip-hop and love couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Mendeecees and Yandy, the couple. That could change everything. And just when you think you know the whole story, more twists and secrets keep coming to light. Stay tuned. After years of public displays of affection, and their fans thinking they were the ideal reality TV couple, everyone thought they were unbreakable, were headed for a devastating breakup. Rumors of a divorce had been circulating for months, but it was confirmed by sources close to the couple that their marriage had reached an unbreakable wall. Fans found it incomprehensible that the couple, who had endured so much together, were dealing with Mendeecees' previous legal issues and Yandy's ongoing juggling act between being a wife, mother, and professional woman. On the surface, their marriage appeared to be strong, but behind closed doors, emotional distance was starting to show, and it seemed like the burden of their public lives was becoming too much for them to handle. The first sign of trouble appeared when Yandy shared a mysterious message on social media. Instead of the usual family pictures or inspirational quotes that fans were accustomed to seeing, this time the message was different. Sometimes you have to walk away to save yourself. At first glance, the message appeared innocent, but fans soon started to wonder if she was referring to Mendeecees or if there was trouble in paradise. Fans were left wondering whether Mendeecees was too hurt to speak out or if he just didn't care anymore. After a barrage of questions and speculation only grew stronger over the course of the following days, rumors about their marriage soon surfaced, with some insiders claiming that Yandy had been feeling neglected for a long time, and others suggesting that Mendeecees was still dealing with. When Mendeecees and Yandy made their final appearance together on Love and Hip Hop, fans noticed subtle changes in their interactions. Their chemistry seemed forced, and Yandy appeared more distant. These were unresolved issues from his past, and those close to the couple started to hint that their relationship had been in turmoil for months, with arguments becoming more frequent, and the love they once shared beginning to fade. As the days went by and more information became available, insiders disclosed that Mendeecees had been spending more time away from home, possibly to avoid the mounting tension in their relationship. With Yandy, on the other hand, Mendeecees appeared tense, and their once joking banter was replaced with awkward silences, leaving viewers to wonder if this was the beginning of the end. Hand had been putting a lot of effort into her career, leaving little time for the intimacy that had previously existed in their marriage. Was this a normal development for a couple who had experienced a lot, or was it the inevitable result of years of unresolved issues? What had started out as a small argument a few months prior had now grown into something much more serious, and she had admitted to her close friends that she was tired. Mendeecees appeared more distant than ever. Her friends had always known her to be strong, but now there was an unavoidable vulnerability in her. It was as though the years of trying to keep everything together were finally taking their toll. She was worn out from playing the role of the ideal wife, mother, and businesswoman. She was also worn out from bearing the emotional burden of their relationship on her shoulders. Battling his personal issues after years of being in the public eye, juggling his roles as a father, husband, and reality TV star, and dealing with the fallout from his previous legal issues, he was starting to crumble under the pressure. He had confided in close friends about feeling stuck in a life he didn't feel he could lead, that had made them famous. Their reality TV lives become the thing that tore them apart. It became evident that neither of them had the energy to continue fighting, as they grew weary of trying to live up to the public's expectations of what their marriage should look like. However, it wasn't just their emotional struggles that were creating issues. External factors, primarily the unrelenting demands of society, were fueling the cracks in their relationship. Pressure from their respective families. Mendeecees' family, in turn, was under constant pressure from his own family to act in what they believed was best for him, and their disapproval of Yandy didn't help their suspicions about him. This was especially true after Mendeecees' previous legal issues, which made them fear that he wasn't the right man for their daughter. Help matters, as Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship grew increasingly strained as their tension increased. What began as minor arguments escalated into full-fledged disputes. Their communication broke down, and every interaction felt like an effort to maintain a facade of happiness that neither of them could sustain any longer. Yandy was frustrated with when Mendy finally broke his silence a few days after Yandy's cryptic post. He took to social media with a short but heartfelt post that hinted at the end of their marriage. Mendeecees' distance made her wonder if he still loved her Mendeecees, and wondered if he had ever been able to give her the care and attention she needed. However, he wrote that sometimes love isn't enough. Fans quickly flooded the comments, demanding more information, but Mendeecees remained silent, leaving them in suspense. The tension in their relationship escalated to new levels, and it became evident that the couple was going through the most trying time in their lives. As the days went by, rumors about the relationship between Mendeecees and Yandy grew further after Mendeecees' shocking post left fans aflutter. However, it also paved the way for more rumors and insider information, with everyone eager to learn the truth about what had actually transpired between the couple and whether they had truly reached the point of no return. It seemed like in a public interview, Yandy took a more direct approach, breaking down in tears as she talked about the emotional toll her marriage had taken on her. Mendeecees' response had been evasive, but this new information only added to the mystery. "I gave everything to this relationship," Yandy said in response to Mendeecees' post. She spoke about the pressure of juggling her career, being a mother, and remaining strong from indies, who had frequently been absent both emotionally and physically. Her voice was trembling, but somewhere along the line, I lost myself. Her words left fans stunned, with many wondering if she was finally revealing the true extent of her struggles. Her pain was evident in her voice. Every word of Yandy's heartfelt confession marked a sea change in the public narrative. While some fans applauded her for her courage and tenacity, others couldn't help but wonder if Mendeecees was the true antagonist in this tale, or if there was more to it that the public hadn't yet learned about. Insiders close to Mendeecees started to open up as well, offering a glimpse into his side of the situation. According to one source, Mendeecees had been deeply conflicted for months. "He's not a bad guy," the source said. "He's just someone who's been trying to figure out who he is. After everything he's been through, Mendeecees' past filled with legal battles and time spent away from his family had taken a toll on him that Yandy may not have acknowledged that his difficulties were genuine. But so were Yandy's. Their marriage had always required a delicate balancing act. Cees had spent years behind bars, leaving Yandy to raise their kids by herself. During that time, she established a career and solidified her reputation as a reputable businesswoman. When Mendeecees returned home, he found himself attempting to catch up with a world that had changed without him. Yandy had changed, was no longer merely the devoted mother and wife. She was a strong, independent woman who had learned to cope with life without Mendeecees at her side. However, just as she had matured, so had Mendeecees, who upon his release from prison realized that he needed to adapt to a new reality in which he was no longer the center of attention. Their once close relationship had begun to deteriorate, and what? Following months of increasing distance, as the tension peaked, Yandy started to wonder if this relationship was worth preserving, or if it would be worthwhile to try to mend something that had fallen apart due to their past. She had devoted her entire life to supporting Mendeecees, but now it felt as though she was. The public's reaction was as divided as the couple's feelings, with some fans taking to social media to flood the comments section with messages of support for him. Others wondered if he was holding on to a marriage that had already fallen through his fingers. Had they simply outgrown each other? And could they ever return to the way things used to be? Or was this the inevitable end of a relationship that had been built on a foundation of love and survival? One fan said, "You've been through so much and you're so strong. Don't let him drag you down. Yandy, you deserve better." Others spoke up for Mendeecees, saying that he had endured enough hardships and merited another shot. He made mistakes, but he's trying again. People forget how hard it is to come back from what he's been through. He's not a villain, a fan wrote. But as the drama progressed, another unexpected twist appeared. Just when everyone thought the couple had reached their breaking point, Mendeecees made a shocking move. He reportedly reached out to Yandy privately, asking if they could have one last conversation without cameras, or insiders revealed that Mendeecees and Yandy's conversation was emotional to say the least, with both of them crying as they expressed the hurt and frustration they had been holding inside for so long. It was a simple request, but it left fans wondering if there was still hope for the couple. Could this be their last attempt to mend their marriage? Or was it just too little, too late? Mendeecees apologized for his actions, recognizing his shortcomings. Yandy, on the other hand, acknowledged that she had neglected their relationship for the first time in a long time, because she had been so preoccupied with advancing her career and raising their kids. They were able to have an open discussion, free from the pressures of reality TV and the distractions of their public lives. But despite the emotional breakthrough, it wasn't. The truth was that Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship had been put to the test by a number of external factors, including pressures, personal hardships, and the intense scrutiny of the public. Could they truly repair the harm that had been done? Or was this moment of candor just another brief glimmer of hope before the inevitable end? Fans were left on the edge of their seats, waiting. It was evident whether this conversation would be sufficient to save their marriage. With each new revelation, the stakes rose and the drama grew more intense as Mendeecees and Yandy's tearful conversation continued to reverberate in the background among their friends and family. Would Mendeecees and Yandy be able to salvage their marriage in the next chapter of this heartbreaking story? Or were they doomed to become just another tragic love story on reality TV? The couple's children, who had witnessed the highs and lows for their parents' relationship, were said to be perplexed. "They'd never seen us like this before," Yandy admitted candidly to a friend. "They always saw us." Close relatives were said to be divided between supporting Mendeecees' desire for redemption and Yandy's need for personal growth. Although she had maintained a brave front for so long, the cracks were starting to show that she was divided between her own self-worth and the love she had. And the love they had seemed to be evaporating, and that no amount of promises or apologies could stop the inevitable. It was evident that Yandy's inner conflict wasn't just about Mendeecees. It was also about her own identity, because she had been the wife and mother for so long. I gave up so much of myself for men, and now I wonder if I ever knew who I was without him. Would I be happy again? Or am I just holding on to something that's already gone? The supporter. But now she was wondering if she would ever be able to go back to a life where she was just Yandy. The situation became more intense, as friends and family from both sides gave her unsolicited advice. Some of Yandy's friends, who had always respected her strength and independence, encouraged her to move on from Mendeecees, "You've done enough," while another close friend told her that she had supported him through everything and that it was time to prioritize herself. But other friends, knowing the depth of the couple's bond, urged Dee and Dandy to give Mendeecees one more chance. "Love is complicated," another friend said. "Sometimes it takes hitting rock bottom to realize what you really have." While Yandy was being pulled in multiple directions by those closest to her, Mendeecees family was also struggling to. "I never thought I'd see the day where they'd be on the brink of divorce. But sometimes life doesn't turn out the way we expect." Kirk Frost, a longtime family friend, had always been a vocal supporter of both Mendeecees and Yandy. His remarks in an interview echoed the sentiments of many who had once looked up to the couple as an ideal couple. As the days went by, Mendeecees and Yandy both appeared to withdraw into their own worlds. Mendeecees started concentrating on his career, taking on new projects that kept him busy and distracted. But even his professional success couldn't fill the void that had been left in his personal life. Once an example of strength and resilience, they now seemed to be falling apart, and no one could figure out how to fix it. He devoted more time to his work and spent more time away from home, but the loneliness he experienced when he was by himself at night was evident. Mendeecees told a close friend, "I feel like I'm living two different lives. One where everything is fine, and the other where I'm drowning in guilt and regret. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up." On the other hand, she threw herself into her business endeavors and charitable work. One of her friends told the media that although she is strong, you can see the cracks in her armor, and it's only a matter of time until she has to face what's really going on inside. She started going to events and public appearances more frequently while keeping up a picture-perfect image for her fans. But those closest to her knew the truth, disclosed startling new information. According to a close friend of Yandy's, there had been several heated arguments between her and Mendeecees in the weeks preceding the public backlash. The friend said that Yandy's kept telling Mendeecees that she couldn't continue doing this any longer, but he kept dismissing it. It seemed as though he didn't take her seriously until it was too late. The communication breakdown was cited as one of the most shocking revelation of all. Came from an insider who claimed to have heard a private conversation between Yandy and Mendeecees. Key factors in the breakdown of their marriage were Men's inability to understand Yandy's emotional needs, combined with his own personal struggles, which created a rift that no one saw coming. According to the source, Yandy had told Mendeecees, "I don't knowing that the end was near." Mindy reportedly left the conversation in silence, After hearing those words, "Know if I can love you the way I used to. I feel like we've lost each other." The question that remained was whether their love was truly over, or if they could ever mend what had been broken. Time would tell, but for now, the drama was far from over as the story unfolded, and the tension between Mendeecees and Yandy reached new heights. Fans were left reeling as they processed the latest revelations. Was this the last chapter in their love story? Or was there still hope for their marriage? Friends and family could no longer ignore the seriousness of the situation. Rumors of betrayal, unspoken grudges, and broken promises were circulating among their circles. The couple's once strong bond appeared to have broken irreparably, and the chances of a reconciliation decreased daily. But some people held on to the hope that love could overcome everything. Yandy, who had always been known for her strength and independence, was now acknowledging that she needed help for the first time in years, when a source close to her disclosed that she had sought out marriage counseling in a last-ditch attempt to save her relationship with Mendeecees. The source said that although she didn't want to give up on them, she knew that things had to change, and she couldn't keep living this way. During one of their sessions, she confided to her therapist that she was questioning everything, including her marriage, her role in the family, and even her own happiness. "I love Mendeecees, but I don't know if I can love him the way he wants." "Me too," she said. But Mendy, according to insiders, was not as receptive to the idea of counseling. He was reluctant to face the reality of their failing marriage, and didn't think anything was wrong. According to a family member, Yandy believed that everything would work itself out, but by the time he realized how bad things had gotten, it was too late. Mendeecees had always been a man of action, preferring to use his hands rather than his heart to fix problems. But this time, there was no simple solution. The damage had already been done, and now it was up to them both to decide whether or not they were willing to Mendeecees. And Yandy's divorce drama is more intense than any reality to UE's storyline. One tabloid's headlines screaming about the alleged infidelity, the secret fights, and the emotional breakdowns that were allegedly tearing the couple apart, and the need to work to mend their broken relationship. As the couple's personal lives became more public, the headline read, "Fans are shocked at the shocking secrets revealed about their relationship." It seemed like everyone had an opinion on the couple's situation, from fans to celebrities to even strangers on social media. "They've always been our #relationship goals," one fan wrote on Twitter. It's heartbreaking to see them go through this. However, despite the mixed public response, those closest to the couple had their own opinions about what was actually going on behind the scenes. In an interview, Yandy's sister, who had mostly kept quiet during the drama, finally expressed her belief that the couple had become too distant to keep their marriage intact, saying, "There comes a point where love just isn't enough anymore." Mendeecees' family was also dealing with the news of the upcoming divorce, and Kirk Frost, who had been a mentor and confidant to Mendeecees for a long time, was reportedly concerned about the toll this was taking on his friend. "I've never seen Mendeecees like this," Kirk confessed to a friend. "It's heartbreaking, but I don't think there's anything left to salvage." Close friend who has always been the strong one, but I can see the anguish in his eyes now. It seems like he has lost the one thing that was most important to him. However, uneven Kirk, who had always been a strong supporter of Mendeecees and Yandy's relationship, acknowledged that there wasn't much hope for the couple anymore, saying solemnly that as the divorce process went on, it became Mendeecees and Yandy had a number of unresolved issues, including financial disputes, disagreements over their children, and lingering feelings of betrayal that seemed to overshadow any chance of reconciliation. According to reports, Mendeecees was adamant about keeping full custody of their children, while Yandy was determined to keep a sizable stake in their joint ventures and business interests. Both parties want to win a legal battle. According to an insider, despite the disintegration of their personal lives, Yandy and Mendeecees continued to uphold their public personas, each attempting to project a facade of strength. Now, however, they are fighting over remnants of what once was a beautiful life. It's like watching a ship sink, and no one is willing to throw out the lifeline, and continued her charitable work while grinning for the cameras. But those who knew her well could see that the strain of her marriage's dissolution was getting to her. She had always been the family's rock, but now she was finding it difficult to keep everything together. Mendeecees, on the other hand, withdrew even more from the spotlight and concentrated on his career, using it as a diversion from the suffering he was experiencing. However, even during his most prosperous times, there was an unmistakable sadness behind his eyes. One of his close friends claimed that he had lost something, possibly even himself, and that he was unsure if he would ever be able to find it again. As the days went by, rumors of their divorce kept some fans on edge. The public was left to speculate. As the couple's divorce loomed larger and larger, would Mendeecees and Yandy ever be able to reconcile, or was this the end? Some thought that Mendeecees and Yandy were merely playing a game of pretending to be at odds for publicity, while others were convinced that the couple's marriage was truly over. It's a shame one fan wrote that they were perfect for each other, but now it feels like they're just two strangers living in the same house. As the final stages of the divorce drama unfolded, fans continued to watch with bated breath, anticipating the next shocking twist in the story of one of reality TV's most iconic couples. However, for the time being, the drama between Mendeecees and Yandy was far from over. The drama surrounding their breakup took a shocking turn when new revelations surfaced, and rumors of past secrets, betrayals, and even possible infidelity started to circulate the media. These new developments were even more shocking. His public character had been based on his quest for atonement when he faced the repercussions of his crimes. But now that image was damaged, and the couple's alleged emotional altercation at home was the last straw. According to people close to the couple, Yandy sobbed when she confronted Mendeecees about the affair and demanded explanations, pleading with him to be honest with her. A friend of Yandy's remembered that it was she wanted to know every detail throughout the most stressful moments she had ever gone through. Despite being distraught, Mendeecees apparently said that they could no longer handle the lies, the affair, and when the revelation leaked, it became evident that their marriage could no longer be saved. Fans of many people voiced their shock and disbelief at the couple's inability to reconcile the image of given the tragic circumstances of their predicament. They previously admired the couple. "This isn't the Mendeecees and Yandy we one fan," tweeted, "I saw on TV that they were meant to be our goals, but now they're similar to the dissolution of every other famous couple." The couple's family also experienced the fallout. It was reported that his mother, who had always been a pillar of support in his life, was heartbroken by the information. She couldn't comprehend what was going on. A family member claimed that although she had always backed their marriage, the news shocked her. Family as well, with her mother and sister apparently pressing her to relocate. "This is not the life deserves," one family said, urging her to concentrate on her own health. As the drama unfolded, she stated that she is too strong to be dragged down by someone who doesn't value her. Fans of the duo couldn't decide whether to back Mendeecees and Yandy. "We just want them to be happy," one fan said, expressed rage and said, "But it's evident that they've both been through a lot. Maybe this is for the best others." Dissatisfaction with certain fans, feeling deceived by many's behavior. "He injured Yandy, and that is unacceptable," commented, "With the divorce now, I can't support someone who treats their wife that way." Proven, and the psychological toll on Mendeecees and Yandy made it appear doubtful if they would ever. Time would tell if they were able to reconcile, or if this marked the end of their voyage together. But for the time being, as the media kept covering the story, fans were left with the impression that the drama surrounding their marriage was far from done. I'm curious how much longer this pair could put up with before they finally lost it. Wow, what a Mendeecees and Yandy's drama has been an emotional roller coaster. Genuinely shocked everyone. But we'd like to know if you believe their marriage was irreparable, or if there's an opportunity for reconciliation. What are your opinions on the alarming findings that have surfaced? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. If you want additional updates on this exciting story, please remember to subscribe and like the video below. To remain up to date on all the drama that is taking place, make sure to hit the notification bell and never miss the most recent news. For viewing, and we hope to see you again soon with even more amazing updates.